Well, with all the bad stuff in the world, you can always count on Atari managing to make things worse. Here they have a new Medium vlog saying, managing the unexpected. Well, depends which country you're in, which is the unexpected one, and which company has released something to the public which they shouldn't have done in a bid to quell the riots that were going on for weeks and weeks and weeks, and now look what they've done. Obviously I can't name that by name specifically. Anyway, the Atari team hopes that you, your loved ones and colleagues are all safe and sound today as the world addresses the unprecedented challenges caused by this, and our daily work and personal lives become increasingly affected. And my voice as well, which is why I've got a lot of water on hand. Production delivery update. As the Atari Group recently announced, we have confirmed delivery of enough parts by the end of March to build our first 500 Atari VCS production units. A good portion of these will go to dev kits for developers. We believe it would be unfair to use a balance to fulfill only a number of the Indiegogo orders, so Atari's plan is to ship to all backers at the same time when enough units and peripherals are available. Basically saying, you could have your machine now or soon, you're not going to get it. And you're not going to get it because it's never coming out. Anyway, as of this writing, the factory partners are back to work, not at full capacity, but definitely back to work. The Atari VCS team remains cautiously optimistic that China's manufacturing industry and our supply chain are improving. We do remain focused on the ongoing supply chain issues, working hard to secure the needed components to deliver the Indiegogo units, and then to expand production to fulfill more orders. We are so close and need to have China's manufacturing industry, the Atari VCS supply chain and retailer distribution systems back in order and at full capacity to be able to establish firm shipping and launch dates, so it's given them an excuse. After Indiegogo backer units are delivered, it's very likely that additional Atari VCS inventory will remain constricted by limitations within the supply and distribution chains. While pre-orders are ongoing at Atari VCS, GameStop and Walmart, do not buy. Even if this thing ever comes out, which I severely doubt, you'll have plenty of opportunity to just buy it anyway, if you really want it. So you'll be able to see it come out, if it comes out, and see exactly what it's all about, and spend your money then. It will not cost you more. In fact, chances are it will drop in price like a stone. While pre-orders are ongoing at those websites in anticipation of demand outstripping supply, we recently launched a waiting list to ensure that our most ardent fans can secure an Atari VCS as soon as possible. Those who join the list now will have a chance to purchase remaining available units only after Indiegogo backers and pre-order sales have been fulfilled. Dear oh dear. The order of delivery will be as follows. Number 1, Indiegogo backers. Number 2, pre-orders from those websites. And 3, members of the waitlist who receive an email based on the order of registration and then have a few days to confirm a purchase. There is no obligation to purchase, but failing to do so will lose your spot in the queue. And paying your money now will lose your money. I guarantee it. Note, if you're an Indiegogo backer or have already pre-ordered and received the waiting list email, your initial order is secure and you may disregard the new offer. Oh dear. Pre-ordering from AtariVCS.com and our resale partners remains the absolute best way for fans to guarantee they receive one of the very first available units. It's the best way for you to get their money, basically. That's what it's the best way for. Hardware manufacturing update. Our factory partner's facility, situated northwest of Shanghai, is fortunately less affected by the situation in China than several suppliers in other parts of the country, where many workers remain at home, with some factories still only operating at just 15 to 20% capacity. Our factory continues to work with our procurement teams to finalise the Atari VCS. Please bear in mind that this is also the same situation at the factory manufacturing the joysticks and modern controllers, and we are also working closely with them. Why aren't they all being done in the same factory? That's very odd. Anyway, for the Atari VCS team, one important focal point has recently been the cosmetic specifications. Near the end of any new product introduction, the engineering and factory quality assurance teams start to focus on cosmetic excellence. As most followers of the project know, the pre-production systems we have shown at live events and in numerous pictures the past few months are shiny new plastic cases rather than the final and more premium looking matte finish slated for mass production. Below are some examples of the attention to detail taken in this stage of the process, which we think you will find interesting. Interesting. That's an interesting word. First is a pair of reference charts that define the official baseline standards for the moulded plastics and wood veneers. The inspectors monitor these standards every step of the way to ensure that each Atari VCS is of the highest quality. The following are excerpts from a recent product cosmetic requirements document and photographic examples of defects for which our factory quality assurance teams are on the lookout. So that's basically it. Just as an inspection note for wood veneer, any void, crack or through hole in wood veneer where adhesive or plastic is exposed is not allowed. Neither is saying the word exposed as explosed. Okay, here's the fun part. Plastic defects and examples. Where it says OK, that's good, or accept it. There's also a defect must not diminish structural or functional purpose, and not good, reject. And then we go to the chart, and you got there's a few OKs, but there's an awful lot of NG for not good. This is something that was supposed to come out pretty much around now, even after the delays, and even after the delays before the current situation. And you can see how many NGs are there. There's more NGs there than there are seeing the word delayed on a flight board at an airport. We got blush, whatever that is. Burns? Who's burning a machine? Crack? Crazing, whatever that is. Ejection marks, someone's flashing. Flow marks. I don't know what all these mean. Gloss mismatch, that's obviously the how it looks. Colour variation, how it looks again. Insert marks, bits and protrusion, bits dented or sticking out, scratch. Short shots. I like short shots, particularly Jägermeister, not at the moment. Sink, I've got a kitchen sink, thank you. Splay, whatever that is, texture variation, and knit or weld lines. So I didn't know I was going to be knitting with this machine. That's interesting. I'm not sure how good these pictures are. If you're watching them on a mobile, obviously on a PC monitor, it'll look decent, but they're sort of zooming in slightly, but there's like scratches, more scratches, another scratch, just scuff marks and all sorts of junk. Scratches, little pits, I imagine that is, like dents and stuff, holes in the veneer, bigger holes in the stuff, plastic rather, and then that's all sort of melting over there. That's all gone a bit wrong, and this is something that's supposed to be coming out now. And there you go, NG. It's not good, is it? And there's more pictures. Little gash there, scratch there, bit sticking out there. This is like when I did woodwork at school. We had 14 people in the class, and I came 14th out of 14. And there was a time when I made a record rack for LPs. LPs are 12 inches long, and I measured the length of the wood for the length aspect of the rack, which it could have held about 15 intentionally, and it measured 12 inches. Great. And then I made the sides and sort of put them onto the unit on the side, or sort of included within that 12 inches as it turned out. And then when I tried to put the things in, I managed to fit about 2 at an angle. So that's these people are even worse than me when it comes to woodwork. Atari VCS gap and step measurements. The measurement guidelines. The measurement should not include the parting line and cosmetic line. If a gap is caused by improper assembly procedure, it's not acceptable. The specification of gap and step shown in the images below is first priority while checking for cosmetic acceptance. Units should be placed on a flat table while measuring. Gap measurement to be made in direction normal to largest adjacent surfaces. Step measurement to be made parallel to largest adjacent surfaces. Approximate measurement locations denoted on following pages with coded symbols. Power button to be flush or below the surfaces of the back housing. And we got more pictures here. It's just them doing bits of testing and stuff. It's not hugely exciting, I don't think. Just testing the gaps. USB connectors to housing. I mean, it's a USB port. If you can't get that right, if you're in a manufacturing company and you can't get a frigging USB port right, you've got no hope. This seems to be the case with Atari. They can't even get a USB port HDMI port right, or even an Ethernet port. And then we have the button to rear housing, the on button, which is just all over the flipping place. Try not to swear. There you go. And the top housing to bottom housings, that's sort of where it all clips together, I suppose. Or yeah, it's just all where it all connects together. It's not great, is it? And then we have the biggest fun altogether. Hands-on fun with the Atari VCS at events. As part of our run-up to the launch, the team had planned to bring pre-production Atari VCS units to live events over the next few months for hands-on demos. The first such event, here we go, was at D-Cave, a gaming and fashion pop-up event that was held in Manhattan on the last weekend in February. The Atari weekend had a great time interacting with fans of all ages, including some of our wonderful Indiegogo backers at the 4-day gaming and lifestyle event on the corner of Broadway and Canal Street. We have shared some of the videos from the event on our social channels and received a lot of great feedback. Really? So they do have 3 videos here, Atari Vault gameplay. I'm not going to play these specifically. There's Fortnite and also Antstream. But before we get to the last little bit, take a look at this. This is one of their videos. This is like this for all 3 of them. It says Atari Vault gameplay on the Atari VCS at DK. If you scroll down, comments are turned off. Comments are turned off. So that means no one can, accurately state what they think. Now here's where it really gets interesting. Never mind the Atari's own videos. Here's one from Pimp My Console. I'm not going to play it, but just Atari VCS. Yeah, I might put a link in the video description below. But Atari VCS 800 first final prototype public appearance, February 2020 at D-Cave. And as you look on here, you scroll down. Yes, there are comments, and here's my comment. Wow, so much interest in the machine from no one. That's because, as you watch the video, there's a lot going on in the room. Well, actually, there's a bit going on in the room, but basically there's absolutely no one in that place coming over to the Atari stand. No one at all. It's a joke. Slug2Nars is clearly an Atari fanboy. He just says, laughing my ass off. Yeah, whatever, bozo. But Eddie Glue has his head stuck on. Haha. Agree, this train wreck is just hurting itself now. Maybe the general public will actually get a real product in 2021, maybe not ever. This French company is so lost they are actually doing damage to the Atari brand now. Too bad they spent the attackers' money. Plus those Atari hotels that this Atari doesn't even own. Lol, it's a mess. I wonder which Atari will fold first, the Hotels Atari company or this French holding company Atari. The French holding company is more familiar with bankruptcy than profits in recent past. Eek, you overcheck Atari's stock? Ouch. And I replied to him and said, indeed, their stock is lower than a limbo bar, and that hotel's idea died a quick, necessary death. You don't hear about that anymore, do you? That's a joke. And then just below that it says, what a disaster, from Gare. Even the guy talking about it for Atari had no clue what he was saying half the damn time. Alec Mould says, yeah, let's get a bunch of stupid millennials to represent our company. What a great idea. I'm surprised they figure out how to turn it on. Well, based on the pictures I showed you, the button doesn't possibly even work. Meanwhile, Pimp My Console replies and says, I'll pass on this machine. It's not the same as the original, way overpriced, and leave memories in my mind. Thought it was a PC in a box, which it pretty much is. Although nicely packaged along with the Atari Vault, it's not for me. Some friends told me they will buy it. But we'll just round up. It says the remainder of our potential spring schedule of events have now fallen prey to you-know-what, as major events including GDC, SXSW and E3 have been cancelled. I'm hoping that E3 carries on in an online form. There's nothing to stop, Xbox, etc., doing their own thing from home. Same with Sony. I know they don't attend E3 anymore, and I don't think E3 will ever be back. But they can just do them online from home. And if Sony do something, then I hope it's a damn sight more interesting than that thing the other day where the guy was just waffling away with a load of tech specs. I know it was intended for the GDC and it was meant to be technical and it was aimed at game developers, but since they'd advertised it and they knew that people would be watching, all the gamers wanting to see, games, the console, the controller, they should have included, they should have tweaked it basically, so it gives us a bit of everything. But they didn't, and the guy spoke very eloquently and calmly, but yeah, it was a big nothing basically. But they say, will Atari be at PAX West or the New York Comic Con as we hope? This is all to be decided. Everything's cancelled in 2020, just forget it. Let's just try again next year. But they say we are keeping our eyes out for upcoming opportunities to preview the Atari VCS with more fans, but for the foreseeable future all activity will obviously have to remain online. Stay tuned, stay safe, stay home, play video games, enjoy your family, but not in a Jeremy Bamber way. And if you do go anywhere, make sure you have a solid social distancing ground game. As always, thanks for your support and patience. And, well, there's one response. Let's just refresh the screen. Has anyone else replied to it today? Drum roll, please. No. No other responses. Click on that, I've seen this anyway. It's Mars, ever the optimist. Thanks, Atari. Okay, now we're all done. Please like this video and share with your friends and subscribe if you haven't already, and click on the little bell to get all the notifications. And cue Genesis.